Okay, hello. I already made a video today. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I'm a psychologist. But I got this intuition to make a video today about the love of divine love of God. God is love. So it says, 1 John 4. If you want to understand it from how it's spoken in the scriptures, is beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God, and everyone that loves is born of God and knows God. For God is love. I learned it as a little kid, it goes, beloved, let us love one another. Love one another. Well, I gotta learn that on the guitar for the little kids, right? And so, all right. This strange thing happens. It happens to all of us, but I notice it because I practice being the observer, knowing that I am the observer of my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I am the observer of them, right? And so when you're thinking of a red car, you look out and you just see like red. You see the color red. You see all the red cars. When you are in a state of love, like I always wear this, when you're in, when I remember, a state of love, then you see everything through like the heart eyes, you just see love everywhere. And so I will be teaching or something about courage, and I have all these quotes on my wall or in different places in my house or in my desk, and I'll look over and the courage quote will stand out. And I don't know, I could have put that there 7 months ago and I hadn't looked at it. I just wanted it to be there. But because I'm in they say like if you learn a new word, that you've never heard before, you'll hear it 3 times in the next week or something like that. It's not superstition. It's just you're tuned into the frequency of that word. If you think of all of us are like we're vibrating atoms. And so if you ever look at the split particle experiment, it's like when the scientists weren't observing the neutron or whatever they fired out, the thing that hits the tinfoil and everything, was a wave. But when they were observing it, it was a particle. And so, or maybe it was the opposite, but it's like, it's really weird. It seems like magic to other people, but don't worry about any of that. Let's go back to what God taught us, what we're taught. And even, I welcome all religions. So whatever your religion is, I don't know if I said my name. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I'm a psychologist in my day job for the last 20 plus years. But I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening. And the other thing I put on my Instagram profile is I help you go from heartbreak to heart awake. I have a little heartbreak symbol to heart awake, like shining light, because you're meant to be. If Jesus said you are the light of the world, and he said I am the light of the world, he said both, right? Then we are like light. We're like light here. But if your light is turned off, then what good are we? It's like Jesus also said of a salt is good for preserving food and for bringing out the taste in food, right? So you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, what good is it for? It's just a bunch of grains of white substance that does nothing, right? And so he's telling us there's a way for you to be salty, and there's a way for you not to. There's a way for you to lose that. And I don't want anybody to lose that. I don't want anybody to be missing what you're meant to have, right? This is why I'm so passionate about staying in my purpose, about making these videos. No matter if 3 people watch them, 1 person, or 1 million people watch these, like it's important that I not be invested in that I just choose to keep being present. Now, I want to teach you about the love of God. Okay? So it's like, beloved. Even that word, even if we just stopped, the whole video was on the first word. And John was like the mystic saint. So Peter's like the rock, like the solid foundation that they have the church built on. And John is like the heart. And both sort of need to go together. But there's a verse about that. It was in a book I read from the 1100s, a commentary on the book of John, but it also came to me separate, and I forgot that it had been in that book. But when Jesus was preparing the Lord's Supper, he sent Peter and John. They go together. They go together to prepare the upper room. The upper room is an upper room, of course, that they had the Last Supper in, but it's also your understanding. Go to the upper room of yourself. Don't stay low where you stay in ignorance and you're only operating in your human form, not in you know, you are a soul in a body. George MacDonald said that. He said, don't teach your kids they have a soul. Teach them you are a soul and you have a body. You are in this. God made both. But if you only limit yourself to your body and your bodily appetites, then you're identified with that and you're trapped by that. And you're just running after trying to make yourself feel better on this earth instead of activating your soul's purpose. But going back to God as love, he says, be loved. Like be in your lovedness state. Beloved, you are my beloved. I love you. I cherish you. This is why I'm giving you this message through my servant, Cheryl, you know. And just like I just heard Latoya say this, and Red Elk would always say this, is check everything I say. You know, don't just take my word for it. Look these verses up yourself. Sit with God and ask God to give you wisdom so that you understand, right? Don't just take my words, because that's being lazy. And I'm not calling you lazy. I'm saying you're worth the effort, okay? You're worth the effort to verify, because I've taken in a lot of things that I ought not to have taken in before, even though I heard this warning, right? Because I just trusted the wrong people, or I trusted people that were walking with God and then they turned away, you know? And if you want to think of there's an enemy of our soul, loves doing stuff like that, you know. But anyway, so you will know people by their fruit, actually, you know. They'll keep yielding everything to the divine love, to God, and wanting to do that, and they'll be aided in that process. Anyway, beloved, let us love one another, okay? So if you're in your heart loving other people, not judging them, not criticizing, not comparing yourself with them, compare, criticize, judge. That's what our egotism wants to do. When you're in this flow of love, then you're vibrating a lot more at this frequency of love. And then you know what love is. You're experiencing experientially. That's the Greek word, is to know experientially. I'm not sure if it is right there in that part. I took Greek. But anyway, beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God. And everyone that loveth is born out of God, because God is love. And so if God is love, then you're knowing how God is when you operate that way. Oh, that's what I was thinking this morning. Let me think if I had to share it. Is we think that our actions, oh, I can do this, I can get away with this, and this isn't going to affect anybody. It's going to affect everybody. You know, no pressure. Like, you can totally be forgiven, turn from whatever. But if I'm not disciplined and I just let myself do whatever I want, even if it's just like watching TV every night, all night, you know, if it's like what the world doesn't say, oh, that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? At least you're not doing this or that or this, like those people, you know? No. Look at, if I'm indiscreet with my own time and not sober in my own time, in my own actions, what happens when I have kids? I have the most difficult time setting boundaries with them and going, no, you can't just have dessert for dinner. No, you can't just stay up until 3 a.m. No, you can't just be on your screen all the time and get dopamine highs because you're always on a screen because it's easier for me. You see? If our parents kept taking the easy way and not teaching us, no, you're worth the effort. You're worth the effort to have discipline in your life. You're worth the effort to work out. You're worth the effort to take care of yourself, to groom yourself well, to study scripture, study wisdom, study truth, understand higher truths. Go to seminars that will teach you how to be excellent in whatever you're doing, whatever gifts God gives you. You have them in the raw state, but you're meant to use them for love's sake. And when you align with love and let love flow through you and you choose to love people, pray for your enemies, pray for those who misuse you and treat you wrongly. Pray for them instead of wasting your time trying to get vengeance on them. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But anyway, when I have a practice and a habit, right, of being disciplined, then I don't have a problem when my kids go, no, 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 no. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, here's the boundary, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at that, because I've had to learn this backwards and we're reverse engineering. It's like, that's not working. Oh, it's from all those years of not holding myself accountable, of not thinking that it mattered, of thinking these are just private actions, but they're not private actions. They leave my kids not equipped if I kept in the pattern. There's a verse that says, the sin of the fathers will pass down 7 generations or something like that, but you can be the curse breaker. You can break that pattern. I learned this from a guy named David Lees. I love it, okay? He said, a habit is just a choice that's set on default, right? And so you made a choice at one point, even if it was early on when you were little, about how the world operates because of what you were experiencing. But it's your job now, it's your responsibility to explore those choices and understand, is that aligned with love? What is truth? What is real wisdom? Is that aligned with love? How can I align that with love? And let go of those old lies so that I can walk in love and truly love other people and be loving to myself and treat myself with the worth and dignity God always wanted me to treat myself. Then you'll know yourself as beloved, be the change you wish to see in this world as you act lovingly to yourself, as you would want to act to your best friend or to your child or to, a beloved sister, or brother. Act that way towards yourself, and you'll start knowing what love is, and that's what God is. And you start knowing what God is, and then all this God stuff, which is good stuff, which is love, which is abundance, which is flow, which is kindness, which is thoughtfulness, which is responsibility, the ability to respond well, all flows into your life. All right, I wish you so much love. Know love. You can know it. Why do you think this video is here for you? It came to you for a reason.